Recording in progress.
Okay, I'd like to welcome you to the village board meeting, 7 o'clock Monday, October 14th, 2024. We have a roll call of officers.
Pete Anzia, Roseanne Guide, Sarah Heisler, Chris Clear, Rose Sowers, Kevin Schuler, and Dan Wolf.
Open meeting law compliance check.
We are in compliance.
You know, stand for allegiance and hold silent. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public input. Anyone have anything to say? Yes, sir. Can you state your name, please?
Michael Watson. So on the corner of Bean Park where I live, I've noticed this summer, any given night that I'm out playing on the porch, 2 to 3 vehicles just blow right through that stop sign. Typically heading east or west on Park. Something needs to be done about that. It's too many kids, too many families walking out in the hall.
You do have that on the agenda for later.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No, that's Michael Street. He's talking about Dean and Park. There's a four-way stop there now.
It's a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
People are blowing the stop.
And you see that hopefully, if you can give me, I'm the chair of the safety committee and we can ask the sheriff's department to do a little more monitoring in that area. But if you can kind of give me a time frame when you see it most often.
It's later in the afternoon, I would say like. I get off at 3, I get home about 4, so it's late afternoon, it's like 4 to 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Okay, and that's Dean and Park.
Dean and Park, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
And do you see the, like, is it the same cars that are doing, it, or the repeat offenders, or just random?
Just random cars, I don't pay too much attention, I just be out sitting on my porch and. Like, nice stuff. They keep the fun going. Like I said, I've seen a lot of kids on bikes this year, compared to last year, and a lot of families like, babies and strollers, kids on wagons or tricycles. And it just shouldn't happen. And then also, one other thing that I'm thinking of, so right out by the fire hydrants, which is actually my neighbor's corner. He has, said he's mentioned it before, there is like a little manhole cover that says water on, so that's a water shut off, I'm gonna assume. That whole thing is pushing out of the ground, and the plow hit it last year and flew the lid, which is pretty heavy for cast iron. Several feet away from where it should be, so it's probably something that should be addressed. Before it ends up in, someone's driveway or car or, something.
Dan, do you have any?
Yeah, you can.
For the four-way stop on Dean and Park, we'll put that on next month's agenda.
Do you want to have Rose meet or should, or Rose could just reach out to the sheriff's department about it?
We could just reach out to the sheriff's department. I'm sure if we just explain that there's an issue that they'll do a little more, patrolling that area.
We get email sent out to Brad.
Yeah, can you do that? Oh, thanks, man.
Any other public input? If not, we move on to the Chamber of Commerce report. Got nothing? I got nothing. Village Marshal report.
Yeah, for September, we had 2 dumpster violations, one with a mattress and one with fluorescent light fixtures, and both items were picked up. I called the people and they took care of getting rid of them. And we also had Pat called me and had some guy he seen on camera up at Heritage Park spinning donuts on the baseball diamond with his electric scooter. So we knew who the guy was, so I went over and I had conversation with his father and him, and that situation has been taken care of, so. That won't happen again. That's all really had last month.
Seriously.
We'll move on to Consent agenda items. Make a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes from September 9th, 2024.
Okay.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes. New business. 9A, approved donation of park shelter rental at community park for American Legion raffle item for their tailgate after party fundraiser. Vicky?
Yeah, so the Legion reaches out to us about once a year and asks if we will donate the use of the rental as a door prize for their fundraiser. It really doesn't cost us anything. So it's up to the board if you will approve that or not.
I move to approve the donation of park shelter rental at Community Park for the American Legion raffle item for their tailgate Packer Party fundraiser.
I will second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 9B, approved Public Works Committee recommendation to add four-way stop sign on Michael Street and First Street. Sarah?
So at our public works meeting, we had a concerned parent here who stated there are 14, I believe he said, children that live like very close to that intersection, and he asked if the village would put up a four-way stop sign on First and Michael just to slow traffic down. As the kids are all playing, there's no sidewalk to ride your bike or anything, so obviously the kids have to be in the road to ride their bikes. So Public Works thought it was a good idea, and we wanted to bring it to the board for approval.
The one who lives in that area, I agree.
I read this on the agenda myself, so I'm-
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no stop sign either way, it's just a straight through, right?
No, there is
Oh, okay, got
And
it,
it's the same way at First and Lorraine, right where you are, just.
yeah.
I think First Street is a busy street.
It is, yeah.
So when I read the minutes, I was actually gonna bring up, if we're gonna put up a four-way stop at the one in question here, do we also want to consider Lorraine at the same time? I don't know.
Do we want the safety committee to go around and maybe there's more maybe we should
Yeah.
do?
Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, let's-
Let's approve this one and then go have a safety group go around and take a look.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the Public Works Committee recommendation to add a four-way stop sign on Michael Street at First Street.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. 9C, approved Public Works Committee recommendation to knocking down the old bathroom building by community park. Okay?
Well, we had talked last year about maybe putting a new roof on the old bathrooms and using it for storage, but after we got a quote, what we all had to do, it came into about $26,000. And we don't feel it's justifiable to do that, and another reason is, I mean, if we use it for storage, we were gonna put our signs in there. But we would have to go to 3 different buildings to get all the stuff we need for put the stop signs up or anything, so. We just thought of knocking it down with our new tennis courts and everything in there. The way that concrete or the finish, for the height of the concrete, we would have to be in the way for getting water to get away from it, so.
What's the estimated cost for?
Taking it down, well, we're gonna do it ourselves.
Okay.
So the old bathroom is not an historical site. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve Public Works Committee recommendation for knocking down the old bathroom building by community park.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other questions on that?
So that's first gonna happen in the winter.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Approved Public Works request of the purchase of a track 44-inch rotary mower. Funds up to $30,000 by putting funds 60% sewer fund and 40% general fund.
But this is the mower that we can mow ditches, steep ditches, go around our ponds, and we have a lot of ponds, and we have one. The ditch out by our treatment plant is so steep that we can't mow it all, and we thought of filling that in and just putting a storm sewer pipe through it, but we had a heavy rain, that would never work, so. And then Paul can use it to cut his reeds down in the reed bed, so that's why the sewer fund. We have money in our funds for stormwater maintenance funds, so. And the quote came in at $28,765. That's a huge flood.
Overall budget.
Yeah, this is, but now that Danny mentioned it, I forgot, this would actually be from the stormwater fund, which has. Yeah, this would actually be paid out of the stormwater fund, so. That is a different balance that I will.
Vicky, would the sewer fund, would that be on that bigger loan, or should we just pay it?
No, the sewer fund balance is very strong right now. So I don't foresee, I mean, there's no problem approving it out of the sewer fund balance.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the best option. And so we have just over $107,000 in the stormwater fund, so that 12,000 would, not significantly decrease.
Sewer fund and,
So 60% would be from the sewer fund.
Yeah.
And 40% would be from the stormwater fund.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve the public works request of the purchase of a track 44 rotary mower funds up to 30,000 by putting 60% out of the sewer fund and 40% out of the stormwater fund.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 90, approve public works committee to require the developer to make the sidewalk completion at Heritage Park by July 1st, 2025.
So I'm just gonna jump in before Danny talks about this, but that one of the questions the committee asked was for me to find out what percentage is complete. And we are actually at 58% complete right now. I have not been able to find all the documents for that development. I have an email into Brad's office to see if they have a copy for that. But I think that it might be best to hold off on approving this until I can review the developer's agreement and make sure that we are within our ability at 58% completion to require it.
I think years ago, we had policy of 75% or more. The sidewalks would have to go into an empty lot, so we're only at 58. So we'll just
Yeah.
check into it. I know there was one subdivision like that, and I don't know what's in that developer's agreement.
Yeah.
We allowed them to build a home and then put the sidewalk in that subdivision, so I don't know if there was a stipulation made for that or not, so.
So I would ask that you just table it until I can review the developer's agreement.
Do we make?
I believe you can, yeah, should.
I'll make a motion to table the public works committee request to require the developer to make a sidewalk completion at Heritage Park by July 1st. So thank you for that.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, 9F, approve public works committee recommendation of the Maple Lawn escrow deposit to be used in 2025.
So there is a deposit that has been on the book since pre-2012. That was from, the developers put money, had to provide money for street trees in that development. And we hadn't spent it. So it's sitting there. It's a liability on our accounts that we have to put these trees in. So I am just recommending or that we move forward with finishing it now that Maple Lawn is mostly complete.
So you're requesting these funds be used for the trees.
Exactly.
That's,
Because that's all it can be used for. So
then I make the motion to approve public works committee recommendation of the Maple Lawn escrow deposit to be used in 2025.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion?
So,
All in favor, say aye.
I was just gonna say that Danny will,
Will guy will be able to fire trees, have to be done in spring. Maybe it's
Yeah.
late this fall.
Motion's been made, seconded, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? 9G, approve Public Works Committee recommendation on making an ordinance, no feeding feral animals in the village development properties. I think this issue has been taken care of now, there's really nothing we can do. So.
what?
We did talk about that.
They moved their little cat house, to private property. For us to put a fence there, that would cost us probably 20 grand.
Are we talking about it, Tom?
Yeah,
Yeah, they moved it over to holiday trips.
and I went over by Holiday Trims and asked if they came and talked to them, and they said, yeah, they were there last Thursday, and they have no problem with it, and then I asked them if they ever had cats in their building, and. Because they leave their doors open sometimes in summertime.
Right.
They never had, never seen it, so.
Well, that might change. So at this point, I don't see where there's anything we can really do.
Well, I don't think, unless we want to put a fence back there, but that wouldn't be too hard for us. We have a storm sewer that's back there, I get it, and something happens, and.
I looked at a compactor, that's about $30,000, and you gotta have somebody running it all the time. So it's a bigger cost, yeah. Just, gotta see how it goes.
Should we just table it until it's necessary?
You should vote to not approve if that's the way the board.
Okay. Yeah,
We don't have any-
okay, I'll make a motion not to approve the no feeding of feral animals in the village development properties.
I'll second.
Motion's are made second. Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
I,
Opposed? Motion passes. And H, approve Public Utilities Committee recommendation to the Water and Sewer Project 2026. East Lane, West Lane, Anthony Drive, Park Street, means water main loop and LL to village limits.
So what that is, I guess, working with McMahon, we have. That to do a sewer and water relay project in 2026. And in 2027, we'd like to do a reconstruction on them streets, East Lane, West Lane, Antoine Drive, and Park Street. And loop the water main. So what, if we want to do that in 2026, we gotta start doing the engineering in like June or July of next year. So we can get everything done, so we can bid it out fall of 25 or right away winter of 26. And you guys have, I think I emailed all the quotes to the sewer and water committee, and
Yeah.
so you guys had all the quotes, we talked about it at the utility meetings. The budgeted project?
No, so, the project with North Street LL, Elevator Lane and all of those that we did a few years ago, the sewer and water portion of the project loan will be ending in 2026. So we, would be able to, take out a loan for that portion and determine, the term based on what payments we can make within those funds. The street portion, which would be done in 2027, we will need to look at a loan for that.
But that was the shorter, right? Or was the first one shorter?
The water sewer, we should be able to do a shorter term on. This last one, we did 5 years. I would assume we can do 5 to, between 5 and 10-year term on the water sewer loan. The street project, that's going to be longer. We have a few years to look into options, but it also is good to wait a couple of years because interest rates are hopefully coming down.
And them are some of the oldest streets we have left in the village, and after this project here, I think there's 2 more or 3 more streets. That we would have to relay the sewer. I mean, we're doing a very good job on doing it, and taking a lot of water out of the treatment plant.
It's a huge, huge difference. All right, I'll make a motion to approve Public Utilities Committee recommendations of water and sewer project 2026 East Lane, West Lane, Hanson Drive, Park Street, water main, and leave LL Village. Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve Park and Recreation Committee's recommendation for the AED all-season heated machines to be mounted in Heritage and Community Park machines funded by the Belgian Fire Department. That looks like Pat Western, I heard it from. No, no, 100.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve Park and Recreation Committee's recommendation for the AEP all-season heated machines to be mounted in Heritage and Community Park machines funded by the Belgium Fire Department. I'll leave fire chief, yeah.
I just clarify to be funded probably by grants and business donations and or just business donations, so. Not that it be funds from the fire department. Is it where the program up?
I'll second the motion.
Motion's made second. Think there's any problems with people messing with them? And then therapy. I'm not gonna say no, but they're gonna be mounted near security cameras and, I mean, they're made for outdoor usage, so. They could do a little damage to somebody if they're just playing around with it, yeah. You're not gonna shock someone, but it's not gonna shock no rhythm, so, no. Okay. So they're mounted outside the building? Or?
Yeah.
They would be mounted outside the building, so the cabinet's about $1,500 and they use about $1,700.
You have to call 911, right, to get the code
Correct,
together.
there's a lot of cabinets. We call 911, they give you the code to the cabinets.
Yeah,
That's.
And get the cabinet open.
yeah.
So,
They're needed in the summertime, or I'm sorry, in the winter time, so that. Not the pads and the machine are operable when they're cold weather. The battery doesn't die.
Right. And they know where 911 knows where they are, so that if you live near them and need one, you can easily get it.
Correct, so if anyone's a couple blocks away, the sheriff's department will know and they can direct the people to that unit as well.
so
Be
the,
the first community in Milwaukee County to have.
the purchase and installation of the equipment would be funded through the grants and donations, but going forward, there would be some small amount of electricity and maintenance on, if, you know, replacing batteries
Yeah.
and pads.
Maybe
So.
just one life is what we're.
Exactly, yep.
Can we just make sure the wording states, does not state that the security comes by the fire department and or chief.
Then
I go going forward, there isn't any.
I'll amend my motion to include that it will be funded via grants, administrated through the fire department.
Grant and or.
And or donation.
Good, second that.
Yes.
Yes, I did. I was second whatever she said. I don't know what that's.
Okay, motion's been made second. Any other questions on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 9J, approve Park and Recreation Committee's recommendation for elimination of park rental deposit and new rules, regulations, and fee schedule.
So it was discussed amongst the staff and we brought it to Park and Rec to discuss whether or not it was worth the time and energy for the deposit on the rental because it would not really cover any damages or anything. And we do have the user's information and oftentimes credit card information because most people are reserving through the online system now. So, you know, it's just a lot of back and forth maintenance, and the users, when they make the deposit on their credit card, are paying a surcharge on that amount, even though they get refunded the $100 deposit, they're not getting refunded their fee on the deposit amount. So if the board approves the change, then the new rules and regulations draft that I included in the packet would basically just change all the wording to remove the requirement of having a deposit for rental.
And so you don't think the deposit served as a deterrent against bad behavior in any way, or?
The liability that they have will still be there. They will still be signing that they are responsible and that they will be billed for any costs. I don't think it's that much of a deterrent.
Another thing too, but.
No,
Now with all the gyms and parks, we can tell, did it happen during a function or?
Gotcha.
Nature.
Yeah.
Then I'll make a motion to approve Park and Recreation Committee's recommendation for the elimination of the park rental deposit and the new rules and regulations and fee schedule to be applied.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. Approve Finance and Personnel Committee recommendation for the recognition policy to be updated to a bonus payroll payment with the sum listed with the taxes being paid by the village. Last year, we had a problem with a gift card, that the card was used before the guy actually got to use it. So this is one way to guarantee he's gonna get the money.
Yeah, so we did it's the bottom sheet in the pages that I gave you. This is how we resolved the situation this last year with the gift card. The other thing is that when we were looking into this whole problem that came up, I became aware that we are supposed to be this is considered pay.
Right.
And we are supposed to be reporting it. So this resolves any issue with the labor laws. They would be given a separate check in the net amount that's listed, and the additional payroll taxes would just be a village's cost.
Right, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the Finance and Personnel Committee recommendation for the recognition of updated to a bonus payroll.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve Finance and Personnel Committee for ordinance 35-16 as stated, more than 10 nights per year under subsection D shall file with the village clerk.
So that should be subsection D, actually, if you just note that before you make a motion. This is an issue that was brought up about a year ago. We realized that we require a permit for anyone who's doing rooming house, any kind of overnight stay, and which would be problematic for somebody who just wanted to rent their house out through like Airbnb for a special event, you know, or something. Sometimes people decide to do that. And it would be very, very hard for us to try to track down everyone who's doing it on a very, you know, once or twice a year,
Yeah.
right? So I did look through some other communities and saw that there are a lot that require it only if there will be more than 10 nights per year. That would be a little bit easier for us to monitor, because if we started getting payments from like Airbnb or someone,
Right.
we would be able to monitor, find out who's renting it, and then go after, you know, notify them that they need a permit. But this would take it away from us having to try to hunt it down. You know, we would have to monitor this constantly and be going to a lot of time and expense. So, you know, just to make sure that we are doing our job with getting permits, this would simplify my life a lot. So,
Then I'll move to approve Finance and Personnel Committee, recommendation that ordinance 35-16 as stated, that more than 10 nights per year under subsection D shall file with the village clerk.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
I got a zero.
Opposed?
it's a D, a capital.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I am through Finance and Personnel Committee recommendation to negotiate the T-Mobile contract to $1,950
I got a zero.
at 18% escalation rate.
So currently, so T-Mobile has sent us a letter requesting a renegotiation of their lease. We are in the we're going into the 5th year of our 4th term. So we have essentially 6 more years left on our contract. I did put on the sheet there what we are currently getting from T-Mobile. I wrote 8% below there. That is not correct. Their escalation currently is 20% every 5 years. So, and we are currently at $2,073.60. I did put on there what AT&T is at, just to show you the comparative. lease amounts. I think because we're getting very near the end of our contract with them, that it is not necessarily a bad idea to try to work with them. So, that is why the committee suggested going back to them with this recommendation, because they're asking for $17.50 a month with a 15% escalation. So kind of meet them in the middle. Huh?
What do they pay for upgrade?
2073.60 with a 20% escalation.
Got it.
So, right, and that's what they're asking for. So this 1950 and 18% would be splitting between where we are now and what they're asking for.
Brad, are we, getting into that thing with this by getting into that, or like, that was the wrong
I
word.
mean,
That's not what I meant.
I see a lot of these,
You know what I
just in the public sector, but privately, owned cell phone leases also. So it's not uncommon to try to renegotiate, especially towards the end of the term. Did they say how long they were willing to extend it out?
No, they just, in the letter, they said, they would agree to a long-term commitment.
I think that'd be four.
Right.
Right, this term and reach a reduction, so I would think you want to discuss what you want as a more long-term.
Do we wanna go, and so basically we're going back to them with 19.
Well, if you approve that, then we will go back to them and then we will, you know, start the process of them providing us with a new, you know, find out what their term commitment that they're offering with that would be, and, you know.
Okay.
This is all just to give us the authority to start talking to them as a starting point.
All right, I'll approve the finance and personnel committee recommendation for the mobile contract to $1,950. At a, is it 20%?
18%.
So that would be first in effect 6 years.
No, I believe they want this to start upon, you know, so it's not gonna happen really soon. It's not gonna happen January.
Yeah.
And our current term that we're in is,
That expires?
it expires in, May of 25. So, at that point, they have the freedom to pull their contract because the term is ending in May. So, you know, again, and there's only one term left after that, so that would be 5 more years.
Oh, technically, we're giving in for 6 years then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're not required to finish the last 5 years. They're only required to stay till May. After, and then the term renews for an additional 5 years. So, you know, if they opted not to continue our lease, that would end in May of 25. I mean, they do ask this all the time.
We really never gave in there, so.
No, we really didn't, but I mean, because we are in the last,
Yeah, but we were at the end of the ones too the last time.
we've been in this with T-Mobile. This is the original lease
Yeah, but.
from 2000.
Yeah, but we were T-Mobile before that, that was with somebody else, and then they changed over, they must have sold to a different company.
I
Yeah.
believe,
Sprint. They merged with Sprint.
yes, it was Sprint. But this is the original lease from 2000. We did not have them prior to that. AT&T, has also changed hands a few times. You know, it's a gamble either way. If you can opt not to do anything, and they may continue paying what they're paying now, but they may take this last term as to find somewhere else and be gone in 5 years.
Money for our.
But, and it's, if we need anything else, it's just a good fund to have, but
Yeah.
I mean, they're not gonna jump off too fast.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if we go back to them with 1950, and they'll be like, okay, yeah, we'll take that.
Well, Brad, you have something to add?
From a negotiation standpoint, if this is what you want, I wouldn't recommend going back with that amount. Because typically they don't get authorization, and they'll, like, I
So
would.
we're gonna do the back and forth.
Well, I think you probably want to give staff some direction of what you, what we can do right now, but understanding that usually they come back and it's a negotiating process. And I think, to the point of when this would start, I think there's some flexibility if you show them, okay, we're willing to do this, a reduction maybe after this is over with, but I think these are all negotiable points. I've done quite a few of these and, they do, you know, it'll take a little time, but it might be worth a little negotiation. I wouldn't necessarily say this is it, because I'm guessing we'll be back next month with a water all from them. That'd be more than what they offered, but maybe you're better off sticking with what we have now. I'm not. $2,073. Well, see what they come back with. You could also look at that, like, yeah, we'll look at capping it this one for the next term, and then, you know, again, that's one option you could do. The other thing you could propose is this swing starts till, you know, year 2029, you know, then we'll agree to long term with, you know, that would affect the changes, but it's.
I feel like it's.
I mean,
I feel like doing this and then seeing what they come back with.
I mean, another option in theory would be to say, we're not gonna reduce since they have 1 year left and it will escalate another 20%. You could say we will renegotiate, but at the existing rate and, you know, or something. Unfortunately, I put out feelers to see if I could get what other municipalities are, and you've got very few responses. One of them did respond, and they're in the same range as what we are, somewhere between AT&T and T-Mobile. You know, they're kind of all over the place.
Try City of Port, because they have the same people, they have T-Mobile, and because I talked to the water superintendent, because I was looking for a contact for T-Mobile.
I haven't called any municipalities straight up, but I can.
Each site carries different value that they put on it because of how many users and like they do. It's not just across the board,
Right.
Each municipality, they'll look at the search ring that they're trying to secure or whatever the doors are, but. They don't move quick, like as far as, even if they want, you know, I don't think they'll come back and say, no, we're gonna pull our equipment. That's obviously a big process, so.
Do they need a deadline?
No, and in fact, I reached out to them and said, you know, that we would be discussing it and we would get back with them, and they just said they would pass it on to one of their specialists or whatever. So, I mean, maybe rather than putting any amount in, you just give
Yeah,
me permission to open talks with them, and
I think that's a good idea, and then you can feel what they're saying, and then
Yeah.
before a decision is made, then you can come back to us and say, this is what we talked about.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think I'd rather do that. Yeah,
Right, we help negotiate contracts like that, so.
Yeah. I do that quite a lot. So not just for municipalities, but private owners too.
well then I'll rescind my motion, and I'll make a motion to approve the finance, personnel negotiation, to open the negotiations with T-Mobile. Allow Vicky to open the negotiations with T-Mobile about the rate and lease.
I won't make any suggestions to T-Mobile, and I will consult with Brad.
Yeah.
And that's another comment is, a lot of times, it's not the initial monthly, like, they'll, a lot of times give into a higher rent or stick to the schedule. But they really do want that escalation to go down.
Right.
That's what time, thing now, but, you know, for them to ask for less money and for a lower
Escalation is too many of the things.
Which is where I guess that I was thinking when we were talking now that, you know, because their next escalation comes in May of next year, perhaps we could go and say, we're not gonna reduce the rent, but we would agree to a new contract with a lower escalation.
Good way to start.
Yeah, and then, because, you know, that will save them, you know,
Right,
an amount right off the
Right.
bat.
I think that's, yeah, I'm gonna open the door to you.
Yeah,
be able
I
to go forward
will
with that.
second the motion that's before the board.
I don't even remember what I said.
You're allowing Vicky to.
Yeah, that's, well, I might like it.
Motion's been made, seconded. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Approve Finance and Personnel Committee's recommendation for the reassignment of $73,974.55 of pickleball tennis court expenditures to the special Revenue fund to zero out balance.
So this is our ARPA funds. The Silver Beach Road project came in significantly lower than what we had originally factored in. So we do have a portion that will be in the budget for next year to finish Silver Beach Road, but I would like to be able to close this out because it will simplify reporting to just have it all be done in 2024. So if you guys approve this, we will basically use our ARPA funds for Silver Beach Road and the pickleball courts. It'll be at zero. And then I can do my reporting and we'll be done with the ARPA money.
Then I move to approve Finance and Personnel Committee's recommendation for the reassignment of $73,974.55 of the pickleball tennis court expenditure to the special revenue fund to zero out balance.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any other discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
See, I had a thing with the pickleball, but I mean, just to let the board know, everything is open to be used. I mean, they've been used all weekend and Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock, we had a little ribbon cutting, so if any board member wants to come to that, more than welcome. We invited sponsors to come down for that and so.
And you should have all gotten the invite emailed to you. Sarah didn't.
Anything else, Dan?
You
No.
didn't get it?
Let you guys know that it's
Oh.
me.
It went out to you. Maybe you missed it. But I can resend it if you.
Okay, then we'll go on to unfinished business. 10A, EMS agreement approval. Who wants to handle this one?
I'll start. The original EMS agreement that we approved in July was not approved by the all the rest of the municipalities. So it went back to the drawing board and this new draft has been approved by the committee, recommended to be approved by the boards. They have fixed all of the issues that I had concerns with. I feel very good about this draft. I think it's cleaned up a lot and I don't know if Chris and Rose want to add anything, but
And Brad also reviewed
Yeah.
it and didn't have any issues, correct?
Yeah, the changes, I think are fine. Just to be clear, the initial term, it's a little confusing when you're reading it one, but there's a paragraph that says, as far as the initial term, when it's going to start, but it's not intended to restart the clock and extending it out for another initial 10-year term.
Right.
It's not exactly where I want to see where they address it, but I think it's covered, by stating that the initial term, still goes to the original, date of the
Mhm.
contract.
I'm not entirely sure why they felt the need to put a new agreement date in there to change it, but that was the lawyers that got involved and said that, so. But yes, Brad is correct. This is not restarting the clock on the agreement. It's just.
I was not part of that process.
No, Brad was not one of the attorneys that did that.
Well, I will make the motion that we agree to the EMS agreement approval for the Belgium Fredonia joint EMS agreement budget.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any more discussion on this? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 10B, approved 2024-2025 paramedic budgets.
So there was a slight change made again on the budget that was originally sent out, was not approved by everybody. There are a few changes, very minor amounts to, we now have the new Wisconsin retirement numbers. So they updated that. So I think it changed by less than $1,000 or something like that. But in any case, we do need to approve this new budget for it to move forward, as will the other municipalities.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024-2025 paramedic budgets. Second. Motion been made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 10C, approved advertisement in Ozaki Press for the Main Street rental.
So we really haven't had any movement on that. We've put signs in the window. We did do some Facebook posts. We got a lot of people thinking that it was an apartment, but no one who really, you know, a couple of inquiries, but didn't go anywhere. So at this point, we probably need to take it in a new direction, either advertise, or another option would be to check with a, you know, to reach out to a realtor to see about finding rental business there.
Talked to the couple that were interested and they are no longer interested.
That's not interesting. There's no,
So we could just advertise for a couple of weeks, and then if that doesn't work and bring any results, then I would recommend we reach out to a realtor who can market it. Or we just use it for our own uses if,
I say I'll make, wait.
It'd be nice to get something in there.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve that we, do an advertisement in the Ozaki Press for the Main Street rental for,
How many weeks would you like to run it for?
6, 8.
Oh, I'll take 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 or 8 would be pretty expensive, just so you know. I would figure $300 per week minimum,
Okay, sure that.
so
We'll do
3 weeks,
2 weeks, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks is a good start.
When should it start?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, we won't be able to get it in until next week at the earliest, so.
I'll let Sarah do the second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded. Around 2 weeks in the Ozaki Press.
Yeah,
Right?
It can be in next week.
yeah. 30 minutes.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Here,